Yes, we're bringing a SEASHIP back to the sea.
Germany!
Really, that's the beginning of a new chapter.
We spent a few days here in Delfzijl to wait for the perfect tide window to go to Germany. It's a challenge to get the timing perfect, since the lock only opens 3 times a day, and of course we want to go there with the current and with enough water underneath the keel. So to get the planning right was absolutely crucial.
Hello, it's so good to see you again. I'm Barbara, and together with my husband Daniel, I restore the historic sailing ship Flying Coney. Right now we are on our first big journey with Flying Coney, bringing her from the Netherlands to Germany. We've already crossed the IJsselmeer and made our way inland through the Dutch waterways, passing countless locks and bridges and enjoying the beautiful scenery along the way. Now we are preparing for the final stretch of this voyage, finally crossing the border into Germany.
Also being built as a warship and rebuilt as a North Sea fishing trawler, Flying Coney spent the last 2 decades of her life far inland. We always had the feeling that she longed to the shore and to the ocean where she belongs. And so did we. And finally the time has come to bring a SEASHIP back to the sea.
So we passed all the bridges, the many bridges on this journey. And tomorrow we need this mast here for the courtesy flag, so it's going back up. Everything's prepared now, so hooray, and up she rises.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Hooray, and up she rises. Hooray, and up she rises. Hooray, and up she rises. Oh. Tomorrow the big journey to Germany starts, and it's the most challenging bit of this whole entire journey because it's tidal and we have to go over the Ems and we have to time the tide with the lock there. So in order to have less stress tomorrow, we do want to move the boat here from the inner harbor in Delfzijl to the seaport outside. We do have to pass 1 opening bridge and 1 lock. Should be very easy, so let's start the engine and let's go. Oil pressure is fine, starting up nicely.
Your lines?
Let's go. We sold a wooden boat in better condition than that.
What's up next?
Next coming up is a lock from the inner channels to the seaport. So it's a lock from non-tidal to tidal. So that will be a first on this journey and quite excited about it.
It's the first time to bring Flying Coney actually to the sea.
Yes, we're bringing a SEASHIP back to the sea. She proved in multiple journeys that she is a seaworthy ship and that she can handle the ocean. She was built for the North Sea and now we're bringing her back. We're going slowly into the lock. The bridge is already opening. The lock gates are opening. Today is a little bit more wind and that makes it a little bit more tricky. So I have to go slowly. Let's hope the lock keepers are patient. It feels amazing to be back on the ocean, and this lock wasn't easy, but we mastered it well, I think. So now comes the next big challenge, and that is docking backwards with this ship. We nicely backed up into this mooring spot here. The initial plan was to go through the channel and on the other side of this harbor, but apparently only this side here is the sport boat harbor, and that's the commercial harbor, and we're not allowed on the other side. But there were two nice people helping us docking here. It's also the first time that we have the feeling that this harbor is really suitable for the boat. There is a lot of water underneath the keel. The maneuvers do work a lot better when there is enough water on the keel, and it's relatively wide. There are huge ships everywhere, so yes, that's a harbor for our boat. So this is some nice bronze hardware going on. This inexpensive broomstick. Why do we use an inexpensive broomstick? Because on a sailing ship the flag is usually flown either on the gaff, the aft mast, or in the top of the aft mast. Sometimes on a flagpole. We haven't decided what we want to do, so an inexpensive broomstick is the best solution for now. Everything is prepared for tomorrow. We have a flagpole on the stern of the boat. We have a hoisting line for the courtesy flag, so I'm quite excited for the journey tomorrow. Will be a lovely one. So I will transfer a little bit of diesel fuel from our bunker tank into the day tank. We have a relatively reliable and very good system because the fuel from the bunker tank is transferred into a day tank through this filter here. So in the day tank there's only clean diesel fuel, and it's gravity fed to the engine through another filter. And on this whole journey, we only used about 1/3 to half of the day tank. So we have roughly consumed about 100-120 liters of fuel. Not much in my opinion. So I'm checking the level of the bunker tank. There's not much in there, but I also don't want to go below the looking glass. Let's have a look. Well, that was that. So one thing I usually do, especially when we're expecting a little bit of waves, and today we're taking the boat out on a tidal area, out on a part of the sea, so there could be a little bit of waves, is to take a fuel sample from the day tank. This tank has a sump, so if any rust particles or water has occurred, they have accumulated here in the sump, and it can take a sample from here and it should be fine, but it's just good to check that. good clean diesel fuel. Yeah.
We got time on our side. We're in a state of hope. I need you on my fire. I want you to know that every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way. We got everything here, at least to stay alive. And the time that we share makes it all worthwhile. Got this place on our own. Do you feel that we got something strong?
It's a challenging leg or a challenging journey since we have to time the lock. I've said it multiple times, but we have to time the lock in Leia with the tide. First time taking the boat out on the ocean. First time channel 16 on the radio. Arriving in the new harbor in Leia and museum port. So really, that's the beginning of a new chapter.
Every time you're away,
Germany!
so much I can find my way. And I saw you walking the line, and the truth may come as a surprise. That with you I feel alive.
So we hoisted a courtesy flag for the first time and we're doing 8.4 knots at the moment because the current is pushing us towards Leia.
With you I feel alive. You'll be the last one to think about. The last one to think about.
So things like hoisting the courtesy flag or changing the radio channel in this area here isn't that easy because it's the area of the German-Dutch border conflict. So it depends who you ask where the actual border is, where you're crossing the border from the Netherlands to Germany. So it's not that important nowadays anymore, I hope. That's my opinion. So I hope it's not that important for both countries, but it's still an ongoing conflict where the exact border is. We're just passing Dizum, which is in the Jemgum in Germany, and there is a famous wooden boat yard, but they're pretty nice there, and we're thinking about going out here in Dizum when we need to haul out the boat, maybe for the frame repairs. So this might be the shipyard of choice for the next stay on the Hart. So we've just passed the Emsperrwerk, which is there to separate the open sea from the river Ems. So in case there is a storm going on, then they close these gates. So this building protects the inner part of the river Ems from high waters and from storms. We're approaching the Leia Bridge, which will be exciting because I've called them and I've asked them. They have a height of 6.9 meters, and with the mast up we have a height of 6.3 meters. Since these are actual measurements and numbers, this should be fine, but still, not a lot of room here. The bridge went fine. There was plenty of space underneath the bridge and in between the bridge and our mast. And now we are leaving the River Ems and going into the River Leda, which is a tight corner, and we have to calculate in that there is current against us at the moment. So I can't cut the corner, because if we do, we end up on the riverbank. So we made it in time to the lock to Lair, which was a very tricky bit of this journey, and Barbara did an excellent job in preparing everything and having everything planned. So now we're looking forward to going through the lock and looking forward to go into the museum harbour in Lair. What a wonderful journey. We've seen so much. We've seen the IJsselmeer, we've seen the Dutch inland waterways, the beautiful landscapes of Friesland. It was the first time we've taken Flying Coney on salt water, which was very exciting, but the journey went exactly as Barbara has planned it, so she did a great job in preparing it. And getting here was a lot of fun. They had a little tugboat and used it to help us to get us to this other boat here. Overall, we gained a lot of experience in how to maneuver the boat. It feels like I've never done anything else. I'm enjoying every second of moving the boat. And now we finally reached Germany, we finally reached Leer, and we hope we found a new place where we can stay quite a long time to make some progress on the boat.
What a journey! It reminded us exactly why we are putting so much heart into this restoration. One day Flying Coney will be ready to sail the ocean again. Now that we have finally reached Germany, it's time to dive back into the refit. And believe me, Flying Coney is far from finished, so you can look forward to many more refit videos to come. We are ready to take on the next big challenges and keep moving forward with this project. None of this, the journey, the videos or the restoration project would be possible without the generosity of our wonderful supporters. Thank you all so much. Next time we will be back with fresh boat projects. If you don't want to miss it, then make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you are the first one to know when the next video goes live. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.